Hello, today we're doing some live action in this video as we discuss some pretty unpopular opinions. I know all of you definitely have an opinion or two that the general consensus would definitely not agree with. I have plenty of these. I think bananas and mangoes are bottom tier fruit. Well, actually they are, but anyway. Today we're going to talk about those cartoons. Do you have any of those that you just hate but everyone else seems to really like and you just can't get the appeal of? This is my list of those. 5 cartoons I don't like that other people do like. And just know, if you do like these cartoons, that's amazing. These cartoons are well liked, so I know there's going to definitely be some people who disagree with me. So anyway, let's get started. Number 5, Pocoyo. I know I just talked about this cartoon a couple of videos ago. It kind of seems like I'm just hating on this cartoon that is very clearly made for small children for no reason, but it fits perfectly on this list, I promise. I was surprised with how many comments I got on the worst Spanish cartoons with people saying that they really like this cartoon and that they're nostalgic over it. And I'm surprised because to me this cartoon always seemed boring. I can kind of understand how like babies and toddlers would like it, but I don't get how people are nostalgic over this show. It's not interesting, nothing creative or interesting about it. And also, most of the reviews I watched or read for this show seem to be leaning more towards the positive side, which is kind of surprising. And also, Pocoyo is apparently a meme, or was, of him dancing, which is even more surprising. I don't even know people remember this show. Another thing I do not like about this show, I just gotta point out, is that white background. It doesn't look bad, but the fact that it is so overused is the thing I really do not like. They use it in every scene. It takes away from the immersion. They use it in the desert, the moon, Mars, even other planets they use it. And for the beach they use it too. It's just, come on, you can be a little bit more creative than that. But at the same time, this cartoon is really high on the list because, well, I don't really hate this one. Yeah, sure, it's extremely dull, and the highlight of the animation is seeing blocks of every color move up and down. But other than that, there's nothing really wrong with this show. There's definitely better shows that kids could be watching, but there is definitely much worse. At least this cartoon won't make kids' brains look like a toxic waste site, so for that, it's not half bad. It's just a cartoon I really, and I mean really, cannot understand the following behind. Number 4, Cow and Chicken. I know this one's kind of bending the rules a tiny bit because this one isn't exactly loved like the other cartoons, but it definitely does not get enough hate. There's a lot of 90s cartoons I just really didn't like. Maybe it's a generational gap, maybe this, maybe that, who knows, but out of all of them, this is easily the worst out of any single one of them. And for the plot of the show, it's about 2 siblings, one's a cow and one's a chicken. Yes, the show points out how stupid
Mama
this is.
had a chicken. Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how.
Kind of aware. And there's a red devil, I think it's supposed to be. I believe it's supposed to be the villain of the show. But most of the time comes off as a very bad con artist, and I just find that stick very, very unfunny. But for me, the biggest problem with this cartoon would have to be the voice acting. The voices here are extremely annoying, especially for the cow. It sounds about as pleasant as Alvin the Chipmunks on Helium.
Me keep the beauty mark. Thank you.
And the chicken sounds like, I don't even know how to describe it. I can't even think of a word or how it sounds. Doesn't sound quite as bad, but still annoying. And the plots are extremely surreal and stupid. In one episode, the Red Devil wants to put every person on Earth in a van because no reason really. I think they kind of forgot that. I know this cartoon isn't really looked back fondly, but how is it considered just an okay cartoon at best? To me, it was annoying and probably one of the worst cartoons Cartoon Network has made. Number 3, Chowder. You know your cartoon's not for me when the title's named after soup and crackers. But on a serious note, the cartoon's actually called that because of our main character, Chowder. And on that same note, I don't find Chowder a very interesting character. He just comes off as a very annoying kid to me. And this cartoon was one that was not extremely popular when it first came out, which I wouldn't know, it's older than me. But in the last couple years, it's really got a cult following. So I watched it, and how do people like this show? The plots of every episode are about the kid and some people who work in the kitchen, or maybe they're his parents, who knows. But anyway, they have to cook some extremely complicated dish, and Chowder, the annoying kid, just kind of ruins the dish, or just ruins the cooking with his over-enthusiasm.
But not just yet. A good...
I find that very interesting. Another thing I noticed that definitely seems small, but the show always uses this weird food transition, and it's definitely unique and creative from what other shows are doing. But at the same time, the food doesn't really look realistic. It looks about as realistic and appealing as the food in Chipotle ads. So it's not a bad thing, it's just something I had to point out. Alright, so what is this show actually known for besides being boring cooking garbage, in my opinion? Well, it's known for being highly aware of the fact that it's a cartoon. It's definitely not self-aware in a clever way. But the self-awareness you get from this show is one character getting tossed off a piece of paper onto another one to cut to the next scene, or the characters pointing out, oh, we can do this because it's cartoon logic. I prefer a cartoon knowing it's a cartoon without pointing it out to the audience that knows it's a cartoon, if that makes any sense. Like, the characters just do wacky things and, like, explode and be fine. The next scene kind of aware it's a cartoon, not them telling the audience. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't really find that funny or interesting, but I just can't get behind that. But at the same time, I can definitely see how somebody could find that funny, or how somebody really likes this cartoon, because nothing here is really terrible, besides maybe the theme song. But even then, it's really not that bad. To me, this show is just boring cooking nonsense, and it's aware that it's a cartoon, but it's not aware in a good way. Number 2, The Magic School Bus. A lot of people say that this is education, fun education, stuff like that. I just don't get it. I never found this show interesting, and all the episodes feel like the exact same thing to me. Every episode starts off with a kid doing something. Their teacher, Miss Frizzle, it's the dumbest name I ever heard all day, but I carry on, would take them to wherever they're reading about in their magic school bus. This concept was just weird. It's too weird for me to get behind. I think that's the main problem. Same could be said about Miss Frizzle too. She's always been too weird for me to get behind. I don't know. Maybe it's just me who doesn't like her character. I'm not really big on any of the characters. I mean, most of the kids are just forgettable messes, in my opinion. The only one I really remember is that kid with the orange hair who's worried all the time, which he doesn't interest me either. I mean, his character is an okay concept, where he points out the probability of dying if you get flushed down the toilet to a sewer system, but in execution, I just didn't like it. For the animation, it looks very 90s-like, if that makes any sense. It looks like a lot of things from the 90s. It's not too bad, but you could definitely make better stuff nowadays. If I were to give this show any credit, it would be that, well, it's better than the Magic School Bus Netflix series that came out 10 years ago, which isn't really much credit, because that show is not very good. That show somehow makes the kids even more forgettable, and makes Miss Frizzle even more weird and unlikable to me, but this show is still better somehow. I don't know, to me, this show is just extremely boring. It has nothing going for it, and I really do not find the characters that interesting, some of them even weird. It's always been hard for me to place why I don't really like this show. I can't even think of good reasons, but with all the thinking, those are the best reasons I can come up with. Alright, we are finally at number 1. And the number 1 cartoon I hate that everyone else likes is Craig of the Creek. This cartoon, even when I was 8 years old, I hated this cartoon. There is nothing interesting or likable about it. Most of the stories revolve around Craig and his friends, who are not good characters to me. A lot of the episodes are about Craig getting all of his friends and sometimes even his family in danger, all because he doesn't want to admit he's wrong. So because of this, Craig comes off as extremely unlikable to me. And besides that, this cartoon is the most unrelatable a kid's cartoon ever been. By that I mean, a lot of the cartoons that are about kids growing up in the big city or the tiny forest like this one, they usually don't come off as realistic or relatable, but it has never been worse than here. Craig is just a very uninteresting character along with all of his friends. But apparently I'm wrong about this show. A lot of people really like this because this cartoon even managed to get a spin-off about Craig's sister, who is just as big of a brat and as uninteresting as Craig, in my opinion. And the animation style here, I just do not like this animation. It's some cheap computer-made animation. Cartoon Network seemed to use that for a lot of their shows around 2018 when this show came out, but it looks extremely bad here, the worst it's ever been. There are some Cartoon Network shows like Apple and Onion, which was definitely a lot better when I was 10 years old, so it didn't age well looking back at it now, but you know what? That show is definitely better than this. Yes, the cartoon about the two idiots who worked at Dollar General was a better cartoon than this one. This show was just a mess. This cartoon is just a mess. The backgrounds would look better. They just copy and pasted pictures of trees off Google. The characters are beyond boring, uninteresting, and unlikable. And there's nothing saving this cartoon. I don't get how so many people like this cartoon. To me, it is an extremely uninteresting mess. Nothing good, nothing creative about it. It takes the plot about the young kid growing up and just makes it more boring than it's ever been. And I can say Craig of the Creek is the one cartoon I can definitely not understand the appeal behind. Well, hopefully doing this list is at least entertaining to some people. I'm glad you guys got to hear my opinions. Let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. Just let me know. You can comment. I can even do cartoons I like that other people don't like. It's fun sharing opinions, even if they're definitely different from other people's. No matter how controversial they get, I still like sharing them. Alright, bye.